Gaining special access into an archaeological site that's not been unveiled to the public yet.
What are you guys hiding in this tunnel? I know there's secrets in here. What are you guys hiding?
Let's go underneath the road. Yeah.
Oh wow, check this out.
Going all the way down. So
This right here is the Palestinian town of Silwan. So under it, probably layers upon layers of thousands of years of history.
Do you know the name of the structure? Aqsa Mosque.
Proof of Judean existence here before Palestinian.
ask why don't you guys bring tourists here?
It's not safe. It's an active dig.
There's a conspiracy theory. Zionists are digging under Al-Aqsa Mosque trying to destroy the structural integrity. Is this true?
Thank you to my patrons on Patreon for funding my content. I cannot make these videos without your support, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you as well to Israel Slingshot for being the sponsor of today's video.
Shalom Chaverim and welcome back to Israel. We are here in the old city of Jerusalem. I'm just entering the old city gates right now, walking through Yerushalayim. Today I've got some very interesting and hopefully very profound things to show you here in the old city as I make my way through to the city of David. This may fall on deaf ears, maybe it's not important to say, but welcome to the Western Wall. It is an exterior wall remnant of the ancient Jewish temple, which housed the Holy of Holies, or the most important, the Ark of the Covenant, most important site in the Jewish world. This is just one exterior wall of it. Above it is the Al-Aqsa compound, known as today, which also houses the Temple Mount, the most important site in Judaism, the most important site to Jewish people, which they can't actively access because of sort of an apartheid-esque system where Jews are barred from entry to praying in their most important holy site. Today we won't actually be talking about this, but we'll be talking about something that is related, something that is as old and as complex, but in a slightly different area of Jerusalem.
Welcome to the Palestinian neighborhood of Silwan. Silwan is an interesting place because it's a Palestinian neighborhood that sits atop the archaeological site of the city of David. Yes, King David. But to get a better understanding of this place, I needed a local guide.
Do you know the name of the structure?
Al-Aqsa.
Aqsa Mosque. Okay? Yeah, because the Golden Dome is not a mosque. People sometimes mistake between the two. It's a shrine, a monument. According to their tradition, the place where Muhammad goes up to the heavens. Both of these structures were built here about 1,300 years ago in the early Islamic period. Please remember, they are built on top of a much more ancient Jewish structure called the Temple Mount. What is the city of David? It's an area stretching behind us over here, located between two valleys. One valley you could see very clearly down here, the famous biblical Kidron Valley. And by the way, you're not seeing the bottom because we need to dig 5 floors lower to get to the bedrock. A second valley is hiding underneath the street you just came in from. The city of David is the only national park in Israel that has a residential area in it. It's a neighborhood, people are living here. Where's the ancient city hiding? Underneath us.
So what we're entering right now is a walkway cutting through a government building of an old ancient Judean kingdom. We're going to be talking a little bit more about it off camera because I can't relay all the history to you right now. But let's cut the tall over and voiceover.
Now, forget about the tour for a moment, because what we see here is absolutely amazing. What this building is theorized to be by this proto-Aeolic archway, which was signified on old Israelite buildings and government official buildings, is that potentially this is King David's palace, or at the very least, some sort of government building from the Israelite kingdoms. This was an absolutely huge space, and Israeli archaeologists for decades have been trying to piece together what exactly we are looking at. While they don't have a definitive answer yet, we do know that whoever resided here was definitely of some significance.
So this is the ancient site of the House of Achiel, which is a house where they found the remnants of somebody whose name was jotted down on pottery, and it said Achiel, ancient Hebrew letters. And these are, again, proof of Judean existence here before Palestinian in many contexts. That's an old Judean toilet, that little thing with a hole right there. And they've actually been able to DNA test that toilet and come up with molecules showing the last meal of the people who existed here. There's a large conversation with the sort of pro-Palestine crowd and conspiracy theories that Jews place these archaeological facts here. This is a legitimate thing. I know it might sound crazy, but they say that Jews place all this stuff here to make it seem like Jewish people lived here before. But truly, when you dig down deep into the ground here, all across this area, you will find artifacts with ancient Hebrew and the proof and existence of Judean existence here way before any sort of Ottoman, Arab, or Islamic colonizers came to this region. This right here is considered the Palestinian town of Silwan, and it's covering actually a lot of archaeological sites. So under it, there's probably layers upon layers of thousands of years of history. And it is a pretty problematic neighborhood in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. There has been a lot of raids here since the beginning of the October 7th war. Lots of issues in this neighborhood. I've passed through it personally one time. It was a bit of a frightening experience. That being said, most of the times it's pretty tranquil and quiet here. But there is no doubt that under this neighborhood, this Palestinian neighborhood, there's a lot of Judean history, considering the fact that the Mount of Olives, with 1,000-year-old Jewish grave sites and some of the most significant sites in Jewish history, exists right next to it. That's the Mount of Olives right there. All right, so now we're gaining special access into an archaeological site that's usually not for the public to see. This is something that's exclusive to the group I'm going with, which is amazing. We're going to be seeing some sites that I think have not been unveiled to the public yet, which is very exciting.
A 2,000-year-old drainage system that was excavated recently.
And it's going parallel to the road leading...
It's going underneath the road, which we'll see in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this
This was
is
the
2,000-year-old drainage system.
Oh wow, check this out. Look at that. It's all mossy too. All the walls here are mossy. Going all the way down. So this was to drain rainwater alongside the walkway to the old city. Unbelievable. We're giving access to see this. This is crazy.
What are you guys hiding in this tunnel? I know there's secrets in here. What are you guys hiding? What are you refusing to show us?
See, even that tunnel Zionist didn't want to tell me the truth. Now, before we head deeper into these Zionist tunnels, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Israel Slingshot. Now you might be asking, what is Israel Slingshot? Well, they are an organization that's helping to combat anti-Semitism online. They've got a big focus right now on the Israeli hostages that are held in the Gaza Strip. They're opening up sponsorship opportunities for people just like you to help them support raising awareness about the hostages in Gaza. Via their Bring Them Home campaign, you can basically sponsor a campaign to get ads in front of websites that are inherently anti-Semitic and to target people that don't even know that there are hostages in Gaza to begin with. Israel Slingshot is straight up doing God's work when it comes to spreading the word about these poor innocent hostages in Gaza. I want you guys to remember that there are over 120 hostages that have been in captivity in the Gaza Strip for almost 300 days at this point. So the reason I'm partnering up with Israel Slingshot is to try to bring this back onto the forefront of the conversation. Click the link in the description of this video to head over to the Israel Slingshot landing page to learn more about this campaign. Support them so we can get the word out so people know that the hostages are still not home. And let's help Israel Slingshot bring them home now. Thank you to Israel Slingshot for sponsoring today's video.
What we don't do over here, come inside, we do not play here Jenga, meaning we don't pull stuff from the bottom and then risking the fact that things will collapse. Archaeologists start from the top, they go down. Once they've extracted enough dirt, they stop, the engineers come back, they install another arch. Okay, so someone put your hand out, if you don't mind me smearing it on it, the other side of the hand.
It's ash.
Oh, ash.
Okay, this is 2,000-year-old burnt
Babylonian
Jerusalem.
ash.
Not Babylonian,
Roman.
Okay, this is what also Jesus prophesied about, the destruction of the city. Your job is to find like the black stuff.
That's racist. That's crazy.
No pun in, oh my God. You guys are the worst. And let me share with you something I usually don't share with. The method we used to use to extract the dirt was the Disney method. A lot like a queue of people, and we would pass the bucket. But we got more efficient once we installed the conveyor belt here.
Ask why don't you guys bring tourists here?
And
Like,
what
why
is this?
Because it's not safe
Explain.
yet. It's not safe. It's not. It's an active dig.
Now, I don't know if you guys have actually understood this at this point, but we are deep underground in a tunnel. So deep underground that it's actually being reinforced with metal beams across the entire walkway. And as we're exploring this tunnel, which again is not being used by the public or by any tourism, this is an active dig site, you're seeing random archaeological facts like jars and doors and walls just kind of hanging out on the side of this tunnel. And to reiterate the point, we're deep underground, but this was the outside world few thousand years ago. The sun was hitting these rocks that I'm walking on. These tunnels were not underground. At one point, these were the streets. There is a city, an entire city, that is layered on top of this archaeological site. And as we continue to travel across the tunnel, we found a coin, which proves Zionism is not a colonial European concept.
Schnatzstein? Where do you see that? Yeah. Are you reading Paleo Hebrew or is it in English?
You see that W thing?
Okay.
The W thing is a shin. Okay. That X thing is a taf, so shta. The Z-looking thing with like there's a Z with something in the middle is a yud, so shtai. and then that Y-looking thing at the top is a mem, so it's Shtaim.
What's the design in the middle of it?
It's a wine vessel.
Wine vessel.
Yeah.
So that's the mis-
We're standing here where the road starts to curve and fan out from 30 feet wide to 150 feet wide. Okay? The pilgrims who would come up during the Second Temple period would be walking up through some kind of bottleneck. Okay? And then continue all the way to the top. What's missing on the left side here? Going down? The road itself. It's not, where are the tiles? It's very simple.
For the poor and the rich?
The Romans, after they destroyed the city, they stayed here for close to 600 years.
Wow.
During that time, they rebuilt the city. They changed Jerusalem's name to Ilia Capitolina. They changed Israel's name to
Syria, Palestine.
Palestine. Exactly. This is an example. This is a Roman structure that we just recently started digging. There's not much I can tell you about it. Okay? Most of it has not been dug yet. I could tell you it's going to be someone's PhD in archaeology. All right? Yeah. And Romans, like any other human beings, want to save time, money, resources. If they have existing material, they will
take it
recycle.
and move it, yeah.
This lintel at the top of the doorway used to be a tile of the road. Listen, Jerusalem's not one city. It's a city on top of a city on top of a city. The deeper we dig, the farther back in time we go. Down here, we already found from the First Temple period. Okay, mentioning the coin that we saw. That coin has Hebrew inscription on it. Year 2 to the freedom of Zion. That is the second year of the rebellion. The rebellion broke out in the year 66. So 67 is year 1, 68 is year 2, that's the coin you saw, 69 year 3, 70 is year 4. What happened in 70? The destruction. There is no year 5. And I will say that many of these coins were found in the drainage system because people were hiding there from the Romans. Sadly, it's not the first time that Jewish people are in tunnels in horror, hoping the Romans will pass over their heads. And we know that the story back then wasn't a happy ending, because the Romans did find the people hiding there. They break the tiles, they pull them out, some of them are killed, some of them are sold to slaves. But we hope that our brothers and sisters that are right now experiencing the horror will come back. And I will tell you something that I heard you say about what is possible to find, like what are we else going to find? From the 6-Day War up until today, in the last almost 60 years now, right?
Yeah.
We've excavated less than 5% of what there is to dig of the ancient city.
You mentioned something earlier I wanted to get on camera about there's a conspiracy theory that the Jews, the Zionists, are digging under Al-Aqsa Mosque trying to destroy the structural integrity. Is this true?
In no way, shape, or form. We have a peace agreement with the state of Jordan. And part of that agreement is that nobody goes underneath the Temple Mount. Archaeologists will dig all over Jerusalem, but once they reach the walls of the Temple Mount, that is where the dig ends. We do not go underneath. We do not undermine it. We do not destabilize it. We keep our agreements.
Why is it with the state of Jordan and not Palestinians? Like what?
Well, the area of the Temple Mount is run by a Muslim Arab Jordanian organization called the Waqf. Okay, after the 6-Day War, the administrative control was given back to this Jordan organization. Later on, when the peace agreement was struck, basically we have today Jordan supervising what's happening over there.
And so you guys have an agreement, I mean Israel has an agreement with Jordan, no archaeologists under Al-Aqsa Mosque, under the compound?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yuda.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you. I'm going to add something to what Yuda was talking about. I've been saying this in my videos. I want you guys to understand how disgusting and racist that is. The fact that we are not allowed to access the most important holy site because of some preconceived conspiracy theory that Zionism is trying to take control of Palestine or trying to destroy a Palestinian identity. Because the reality is, everywhere you dig here, I mean, this is the Palestinian neighborhood of Silwan. When you dig underground, you will find ancient Judean artifacts. You will find Zionism. You will find Zion quoted everywhere. You see it everywhere you go, whether it's in the West Bank or here in Jerusalem. Under this neighborhood, you'll find it. In the tunnels underneath, you'll find it. Everywhere you go, you'll find it. And so the reality is the fact that we can't access those sites because of Jordan, the Jordanian Waqf, is... well, in my opinion, it's very racist. It's not normal, and it's not an agreement that should exist. It's something that we need to move past. We should take control of this area, and we should be able to dig and understand the history of it and bring out the proof of Jewish existence all throughout this land, even if it means digging under Al-Aqsa. I mean, obviously, as long as the structural integrity can be kept. So out of the old city gates.
Shut up, you Zionist. Quickly, right now, all of you watching this video, click the link down below in the description to head to the landing page from Israel Slingshot and support their campaign. Now, back to your Zionist reptile person.
Of Yerushalayim. We've ascended from the city of David. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye, Klats.
If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to monetarily support the channel. Some of the best ways to support me happen to be PayPal, buy me a coffee, or joining our Patreon community. Links to them can be found in the pinned comments or the description of every one of my videos. Joining my Patreon community gives you access to exclusive content and the chance to talk to me on our Discord server. I also go live almost every day here on YouTube. And after my live streams, me and my patrons from Patreon head over to our Discord server to an exclusive after-party hangout. Your support is the only way that I can keep creating the content that you love watching for me. Thank you.